These two books might look the same, but look closer on page 131 and read that the covenant God made with the Jewish people through Moses remains eternally valid. Or maybe it doesn't, because 10 years later that sentence was deleted, replaced with a quote from Romans 9. This book by Robert Sungenis tells the full story. We all know that church dogmas once promulgated don't change, but this isn't the first time bishops have felt the need to clarify themselves. It happened to this document also from 2002, clarified by another document 7 years later. Here are the details. At first it was claimed that the Jews already dwell in a saving covenant, an eternal covenant, which is misleading because it is Jesus Christ who fulfills that covenant both in history and at the end of time. One criticizes evangelization as a very narrow construal, replaced with praise for evangelization, the core of the church's work. The first suggests that there is no current mission to the Jews. Incorrect. The church's mission is to the whole world. And yes, she welcomes individual converts, but this is incomplete if it does not mention, with St. Paul, the full inclusion of the Jewish people. Teachings clarified. A similar thing happened during Vatican II. The bishops put together this document, but it was rejected by St. Paul VI, or at least not signed by him, not without revisions. Today it is known as Nostra Aetate. What was wrong with the original draft? Let's dive in. It stated explicitly that the Jews should not be presented as guilty of deicide. That language, that word, deleted. It needed clarifying. True, it cannot be charged against all Jews without distinction, but, quoting Nostra Aetate, the Jewish leaders and their followers, did press for Christ's death. The original draft was misleading. It continues with a condemnation of hatred and persecution of Jews. Again, that word was deleted or softened. The final document does not condemn, but decries anti-Semitism. It does not condemn as a judge, but corrects as a pastor. It is concerned with displays of anti-Semitism, not commonly, as it's commonly said, quote, all forms of anti-Semitism. That language came from a later document, which can be problematic. All forms? According to whom? Even though a large part of the Jews did not accept the gospel, they should not be presented as rejected or cursed. Correct, but incomplete. The final document adds that Jerusalem missed her time of visitation and then opposed the spreading of the gospel, sins of omission and commission. Yes, the church awaits the day of the union of all people, but she also has a duty, a burden to proclaim the gospel. One more example. The draft correctly identifies the common patrimony shared by Catholics and Jews, but the Council Fathers, wishing to avoid confusion, felt it necessary to revise that draft by explicitly stating that the Catholic Church is the new people of God. Something you might want to add when talking about shared patrimony, and something to remember whenever you hear these claims, and you will hear them. The Catholic Church heard them too. She considered them and judged them to be incorrect, incomplete, or unclear.